Hello guys, welcome back or welcome. If you're new, it's Christian from Emotions in Wine. So today is the Summer Whites Sips. We did the tips a few weeks ago. Below the link if you missed it. There I spoke about several Italian grapes suitable for summer. Now is the beginning of the season, so it's perfect. This video is about three that we are going to taste and less known grapes. So here I put together something more niche and interesting. I hope you will enjoy. You will be able to try. Then other grapes more popular. I will do individual video for each grape. So in the coming weeks. So today, three as said, we start with the Kerner. The first I spoke about, which is from Alto Adige. So Köfererhof, Kerner 23 from Valle Isarco. So Alto Adige, Valle Isarco is the specific appellation. So first of all, Kerner was, as said in that video, born by crossing of Riesling and Vernach, but in Germany. Nowadays is Germany, Switzerland, Austria, Alto Adige, and in Japan and a few other places. But seems the best results are in Alto Adige and in Japan, Hokkaido, surprisingly. Not much talk about German or Austrian. And Alto Adige, Valle Isarco, Kerner is quite important, even the ratings. And there are some wineries making top quality. Probably is the best terroir for it, because this Valle Isarco is really bordering Austria and there is more altitude. Brixen, Bressanone is the town. There the vineyards go up to 600, 700, 800 meters. In this case, it was between 500 and 700. Köfererhof is one of the most prestigious wineries there. Third generation, but the estate existed making wine already 800, 900 years ago. But this family is three generations, and he is one of the top guys. Organic certified vineyards, and Kerner is one of the key wines that he makes. He has just 6 hectares, so very tiny, top quality, still aging, and then on 5 leaves, and then bottled. Fantastic immediately, yeah. I enjoy this grape a lot. Sometimes when it is a bit lower altitudes, that can be another issue because, as I said, is less acidic than Riesling, but can have a bit more body, still good aging potential. But probably the problem is the alcohol. Sometimes it's 14. So when it's lower altitude and hot vintages, that can be a bit an issue because it's reducing a bit the freshness. In this case, no, 13, perfect, 23 vintage was not that warm, and immediately there is the citrusy, the minerality, very pleasant, refreshing nose, really. Here we are not talking about complex wines, of course. They are all quite straightforward. Mostly it's about the freshness, the drinkability, the elegance. In this case, for sure a lot. We'll see the others. It's very elegant. Yeah, the citrusy, the grapefruit, lime, and the minerality are the key points, key characteristics so far. Very nice, refreshing, good depth. Yeah, is really, the acidity is remarkable still, even if it's already almost 2 years. Very pleasant, staying there. A great example of Kerner. Yeah, it's not a big wine, but we are talking about summer whites, so more easy to drink wines. But the result here is perfect. The price is reasonable. It's about 20 euros in Italy retail, more or less, depending on the sourcing. And as I said, this is one of the top 5 wineries there. There are some cooperatives also in Valle Isarco. Valle Isarco is really the main area in Italy where they make it. And the cooperatives have also great quality and good value for money. But this is one of the niches, the concepts that I love. Nice location also. These steep slopes at 600-700 meters above the town. Yeah, even a bit of complexity, you can say, is changing a bit, not just that straightforward. The minerality is the most pronounced now, is showing some other fruit also, and a hint of herbal, flinty. Yeah, very interesting, very pleasant, perfect aperitif with seafood dishes, even not too simple because it's quite long and refreshing mineral on the palate, so can accompany even, of course, not spicy stuff, but great, great match for many seafood dishes. Very nice wine. Second, we talk about something more known, the Verdicchio, as per the tips video. Bucci is the winery. This is one of the historical, relatively, because it's from 87, the winery, but there is less history there. So it's considered historical, top quality winery, medium sized. It's a Verdicchio di Castelli di Jesi, Classico Superiore, so a bit of further level. I will not go in details about that in this case. Organic certified, 13.5 alcohol, 22 vintage this case. That is also a matter of what I find of the market. Some wines I found still 22, that's it. But these kind of wines are, of course, for the purpose of fresh summary, you need to find a fresher in 23, 24. 22 also was a bit warmer, but I think they will still express well since the acidity is a key point of these wines. So Villa Bucci is the proper name, is very important, organic already since a while. They are the reference there in Verdicchio di Castelli di Jesi, so the bigger area, the more important appellation. Metallica is the smaller one, inner, so this is closer to, they are not that close to the sea, but not far, so there are still the breezes. Clay limestone is the soil, so classic, giving a bit of structure and minerality, and they use big casks from Slavonia, so that is a bit the classic Italian approach for micro oxygenation. They don't use steel. That is their philosophy. So there is not the influence of the oil, is just for the winemaking. Very interesting. Immediately, completely different from the Kerner. Is also a bit older, so of course a bit more complexity. So you have a minerality, you have fruity, citrusy, but a bit riper citrus, and the classic almond note also there. Of course, it's a bit rounder because of 1 year or more, but it's still fresh. It's less mineral, of course. I forgot to mention Valle Isarco is even a bit different because Alto Adige majority is limestone, granite. There they have some granite, but they have more slate and quartz, so much more mineral rocks. But on top there is sandy soil for the Kerner. But anyway, there with the roots digging, there is more minerality. Clay limestone is a classic minerality, but still less intense than those kind of rocks. And is rounder, so you have less acidity and less minerality than Kerner, but still both relevant. Is smoother, more balanced also because of course a bit older. Is elegant, I would say a touch more elegant the Kerner, but also this one elegant. Bit more complex because you go from the citrusy fruit, the almond, the mineral. Yeah, very pleasant, very pleasant. Of course, if I had to pick, I pick the other one, but this is a characteristic grape also of Italy. As I said in the other video, it's very affordable. This one is a bit more premium because it's Classico Superiore, but you can find many very cheap, we can say. This is also about €20, sorry. But you can find very reasonable Verdicchios fresh. This is a representative winery, medium sized. Yeah, it's changing a bit. So, of course, more complex than the other because of the style and also because of 1 year more. Very interesting, completely different grape and also location. Very nice. Last, Petite Arvine. Le Cretes is the winery from Val d'Aosta, as I spoke about in the tips video. Also, this one is 22 vintage. Unfortunately, that is what I was able to find. So this is 14 alcohol. Is higher. Even if the vineyards are about 600, 700 meters in Val d'Aosta, so similar to the Kerner, but with the vintage, probably the fact that this kind of grape need to be in sunny area, and there, as I saw from the images, is not that slopey, so it's a bit the valley, so I guess it's getting warmer, so the alcohol goes high, but the acidity is very high. The soil is more rain, so from the glaciers melting, the deposited down, so top is sandy, so also for the elegance is good, and the vintage probably made also the alcohol higher. Le Cretes is the most symbolic winery there, 6th generation. They are medium-sized. They also do sustainable farming. So all three are on that direction. They have even sustainable cork, actually. And this is one of their representative wines. They are very famous for Chardonnays and Petite Arvine, but also other things. And the winery and the vineyards are not far from Aosta. Even this different style. So this is more to compare with Kerner in the location. Okay, soils are a bit different, but similar altitudes and character of the grape originally. So even if it's 22, the minerality is marked immediately. More than the citrusy, but also that is quite evident. More rounder notes, if you want, due to the age. Yeah, great freshness. Mineral really keep you salivating, even considering 1 year older than the Kerner, but he's competing very well on that. Good depth. I still feel it, the acidity, the minerality, the citrusy. So of course it's riper, but it's expressing very well that kind of characteristics. So in a way we can say they have many similarities. The alcohol is not disturbing at all. Of course you feel that it's a bit more alcoholic than the others, but it's not. When you have high acidity, minerality, that usually balance well the alcohol. Aging of the wine is still so classic, so only the Verdicchio have the big casks. Yeah, not that complex, we can say. So this is more the straightforward, fresh mineral wine, besides the aging, while the Kerner had a bit more finesse and a touch more of things. So this is a bit more straightforward. Yeah, great balance, great depth, really staying there. So very interesting. Of course, as I said, find a new vintage. If it's 23, is even better on those characteristics. These wines, they can age, you can have pleasure to drink them, but of course it's better to drink them in the first couple of years. That is the meaning. All of these can age quite well. I know them. I drank them before, so I know that they can do well at the time. But the characteristic of this kind of wines is more interesting in the first years, indeed. Then it's interesting to try them, age, to see how they can evolve, etc. So very nice tasting overall, all very nice and a bit different wines for the summer. I hope you enjoyed. I forgot, this is also similar price, around 20, maybe 20 plus, but they are all around there, so similar prices in Italy retail. So I hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, comment please, and salute.